Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, what time it is. It is the Backstage Slam. I am Josh, and welcome to episode number 157. Joining me, as always, is the podcast co-host with the most, Ben. What's up, Ben?
I thought for sure he was going to introduce me as the Ayatollah of rock and roll of the BSP community, but all right, I'll just take the generic introduction.
I gave you the Beetlejuice introduction. What do you want?
Wait, most of our listeners have not been born until like after the year 2000, so I don't think they would have got the reference.
Oh man, are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that is alarming.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting Beetlejuice 2 in the future at some point, so I imagine everyone's going to get a crash course in Beetlejuice history when that happens. But in the meantime, we're here to talk pro wrestling.
Oh yeah, we definitely are. So we had NXT Takeover Toronto. We had the WWE Royal Rumble last week. Last week's show we did our predictions. This week we just, I don't know. I guess we give a review. You want to do like instead of doing a general review, you want to try match by match?
Yeah, we can do that.
We got time to kill. That's why today.
Let's see. NXT Takeover first, of course.
Yep.
Another wonderful NXT Takeover show, but not so great for me when it came to picking the winners.
I thought it was like a 4-match card. I wasn't impressed with the women's championship match, and I knew that going in.
Oh, the women's championship. Yeah, I believe, what was it? Meltzer gave it a 1-star rating.
Ooh, you got Meltzer scores for every match?
I can get them.
Get them. Because when we rate each match, we'll give Meltzer scores, and then we'll go ahead and give our scores. I'm interested to see how he rated each match for both shows. So while Josh is doing that, go ahead and follow the podcast on Twitter at Backstage Slam. You can follow my Twitter, my personal account, at BSP_Ben. Not like last week, we actually gave the correct podcast. The correct Twitter handle. You can follow Joshua at SemicoreJosh.
Nope.
And you can follow, or is it at Skit Comic?
It's all one again. It is at Skit Comic.
At Skit Comic, okay. And then you can follow Michael at MSprout21. He should just change his to BSP Mike.
He should. Mike, if you're listening, and I know you are, BSP Mike.
Josh should be BSP_Josh. No, I'm kidding. All right.
You ready for those Meltzer scores?
We'll go by each match, and then maybe you and I can give a little impression of what we thought of the matches. Be forewarned, I did not watch the kickoff show for Summerslam.
Did anybody? That's not.
I'm pretty sure there's a couple people.
Starting things off, the Undisputed Era took on the Street Profits for the NXT Tag Team Championships. In a match, I thought the Undisputed Era would certainly take the tag team titles in, but that would not be the case as the Undisputed Era failed in their attempt to snag the titles. Meltzer gives it a 3.75 star rating.
Wow. I thought it was a lock that Undisputed Era was going to win, but I also said that if they didn't win, that the Street Profits was going to drop the titles very soon, considering how much time they've been spending on Raw, or how long they've been featured on Raw.
And the rub they've been getting from all the people they've been on screen with.
Yeah. So, if you guys are a part of our Discord group, I posted in the spoiler section on this past Friday's or Thursday's NXT tapings that'll bring us all the way up to the next couple of weeks, and there has been a big. Not trying to toot my horn here or my clairvoyancy, but if you can take a hint, then there's your hint for you. But I give this match a 4 out of 5.
I think, I hate to say it, but I think Meltzer nailed it with the 3.75. It was a tremendous match, just shy of the four-star territory. If I was going to be pedantic, I'd say, like a 3.9 kind of dealio, but 3.75 is fine.
For me, the only knock on this match, I think it was a little bit short. I think it could have done like 5-7 more minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because especially the last 5 minutes, they went through all the big spots one after another. There wasn't much selling, but you can't get caught up with that when you're marking out just as much as everybody that was there in the live audience. So it took me the second watch through of the event to go, oh man, I just wished, like, they kind of went bam, bam, bam there at the end. There wasn't any time to breathe. There wasn't any, drama building. And I thought it could go like another 5-7 minutes or so. But I'm going to keep the score that I gave it. I'm going to give it a 4.
If this was the Tokyo Dome, it'd have 8 stars.
Right? Or if it was the Young Bucks.
Next up, Io Shirai took on Candice LeRae. When we talked about this match, I picked Candice LeRae. Why? Because I thought this would be her coming out party as far as, showing off her abilities in an NXT ring. And I know she's not really a newcomer to most people that watch NXT, because NXT fans generally have a pretty good feel for what's going on in the indies. But once again, I was wrong about the winner of the match. But as I mentioned to Michael, because I did happen to talk to him this week, I don't believe I was wrong at all about how this was going to maybe not necessarily catapult Candice LeRae, but certainly make her someone to watch, someone to keep track of as far as the NXT universe is concerned. Meltzer gave this match a 4.25 star rating.
Wow. Well, I'm going to have to agree with this score. Personally, this was my personal match of the night. It wasn't the best overall match, but it was my personal favorite. And I was right. Everything went the way that I thought it would go. I thought that Candice didn't stand a chance. This was my lock of the night. And, yeah, I mean, they had to... Like, Io has been featured on TV consistently much longer than Candice is. And this is Candice's first standalone program without having anything to do with Johnny's story. So she's just starting out, and I think this loss doesn't hurt her one bit. The thing that's hurting her is the fact that she's been involved with Johnny's storyline for almost 2 years. Especially that long epic storyline between Gargano and Ciampa. That it's going to take some time for her to build her own identity. Because right now I think everybody is just, mentally has her synonymously naming her Mrs. Gargano or Miss Johnny Wrestling. And I think she deserves more than that. And I think we'll get there with the proper build-up. But right now, I said 2 weeks ago on the podcast that when I'll turn heel, that this this is the star making move. This is the move that needs to be done and needs to be built upon, because Shayna Baszler isn't going to be turning babyface anytime soon. But if they're building another top heel, then this is a sign to come that Shayna's time at the top of the mountain is starting to come. It's the countdown to the ending of her story, and all signs point that she's going to be called up soon. I just think the call up for Shayna is going to happen after they go live every Wednesday nights on Fox Sports 1, which has officially been announced as of yesterday. And we'll talk more about that when we come up with some of the news stories after we review both shows. And I also give this a 4.25.
Next up, Pete Dunne versus Roderick Strong versus the Velveteen Dream in a triple threat for the NXT North American Championship. Now, when I was talking about this match, I picked Roderick Strong because I believe this would be the Undisputed Era's night. But once again, I was unfortunately wrong. But Meltzer did give this match 3.5 stars.
That's it? Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to disagree. I'm gonna give this a 4. I thought it was better than that. I too was wrong. I thought Undisputed Era was gonna walk away with all the belts, just like you did. But man, when the match was over, I really didn't care who won, because who wins with a match like this? The fans do, and I think that's what matters in the long run. And I ate up everything. You know what? I'm gonna change my score. I'm gonna give this a 4.25 because I had a lot of fun in this match. So I'm gonna rate this match as the same that I rated the Candice LeRae Io Shirai match. Oh no, I guess no, that's it. Unless you want me to do a sponsor break.
No, I'll chime in with my rating of the match.
Okay.
I give it a 3.75 out of 4, mostly because of, and this is not a knock against Roderick Strong by any means, because he was tremendous. But he was the wrestler of the group, as far as putting in the work in the ring. I think he was the main workhorse. Pete Dunne and Velveteen Dream had more opportunity to shine personality-wise, and that's weird, because Pete Dunne is normally the guy that's like, Mr. Wrestling when it comes to any of his big matches. So to have Roderick Strong carry the load and let Pete Dunne and Velveteen Dream shine, especially Pete Dunne and his reactions to what's going on, when Roderick Strong and Velveteen Dream are just kind of going at it with the fists, and he just throws up his arms okay, and then just hops right in there, and nobody misses a beat. So 3.75, on the verge of a 4-star match in my opinion, but didn't quite make it.
Yeah. All of the matches were kind of shorter than the typical NXT Takeover, which led me to believe, oh my God, we're gonna get a 1 hour plus main event, which we did. So, if anybody that had scores below 4 or on the cusp of 4, I don't blame you. A lot of these matches were a lot shorter than I thought they were gonna be.
You ready to talk about the match?
Bring it on.
Mia Yim versus Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship. a match that, you know what? It was the only. No, I got two right. One of two that I got right because Shayna Baszler has a stranglehold on the NXT Women's Championship right now, and for good reason for the most part. But something did not work here. There was definitely a disconnect. While I don't believe it was the dumpster fire that a lot of the people on the internet are saying it was, I'd give it a solid 2. But Meltzer, it looks like he gave it 1.5 stars.
Oh no, I don't know what he's smoking. This match was a good match. This match would have been great if it was Raw or SmackDown. It would have been great. But for NXT TakeOver, it was just okay. I give this a 2.75. And it's mostly because it was the style. Whenever we had a Shayna Baszler match, there was always a different style of wrestler that she had to go up against. Whereas this one, she had someone in a similar size with a very similar style. It was like more methodical. It was like as if we're watching, I don't know, like we're watching Eric Young versus Bobby Roode, two very methodical wrestlers. We had joint manipulation. We had targeting of certain body parts, power slamming moves. It was, like I said, it would have been a great TV match, but for TakeOver, it was just okay. It was just the median. So, I give it a 2.75. Mia Yim, I think a lot of people hasn't bought into Mia Yim yet because the way that they've been booking her, in my opinion, is 50-50, and they don't allow her to showcase her personality as much as I wanted. So I think that suffered. I believe everybody that Shayna Baszler has, everybody that she has gone up against, they at least gave those people opportunity to showcase their personality more on NXT TV. Not so much for Mia Yim, and I think that's why the match kind of suffered, or the interest of this match kind of suffered. But I will say this: Shayna is the best overall women's wrestler on WWE. That's my opinion. She's the total package. She's not perfect, but she's the most well-rounded right now. And after everything, going back almost 2.5, 3 years now, I think she's changed the most. And I think she sells the best. Like, she's a world beater. But look at what she did for Kairi Sane, who's one of the tiniest female talent on the roster. She made her look like $1 million because whenever she was getting beat up by someone smaller than her, she sold so good. She's the best seller of any women's wrestler on that WWE roster. That's just my opinion. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. But I will state that I wasn't a big fan of Shayna Baszler until 6 months ago, where now I am just like gushing all the praise for her. And at this moment, I don't know if it's a good idea to hold her back just so that they can feature her on NXT as soon as they go to Fox. Because right now the main roster is feeling both Raw and SmackDown, who Ronda Rousey had nothing to do with. SmackDown is even feeling, or is even reeling from not having Ronda around on the main roster. And with Sasha Banks coming back, a little bit of that has been negated. And now Becky is in prime position to be, to be in a high-profile match again. We still need that one-on-one match, and I believe we're going to get that one-on-one match with Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch. I really do. But should that match happen, and when that match happens, I think that's the time to bring Shayna Baszler up. So I hope Ronda Rousey comes back, because even though I'm not a big fan of Ronda Rousey, she did bring a lot. She just her being there every Monday night did elevate the division as a whole for the main roster. That's honestly, and I'm not a really big like I really disliked her in MMA, but I can't deny the gravitas that she brought, and it's you know she's a really big impact for them. So I think Shayna is very similar to Ronda in that aspect, and when Shayna goes up, I see her contributing just as much, if not more, than Ronda. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I'm gonna give this match a 2.75. Meltzer, what the heck are you smoking, bro? Come on now.
You know what it is.
Ganja.
God, we're such nerds. Main event time as Adam Cole defends the NXT Championship against Johnny Gargano in a, what did they call it? 2 out of 3 falls.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was more like a 3 stages of hell match.
Right. It was more like a
Adam
2 out of
Cole,
3 stipulations match.
Adam Cole got to pick the first fall because he said, "I can out wrestle you, Johnny Gargano. I can out wrestle Johnny Wrestling." And then Johnny Gargano's like, okay. Then I'm going to hit you in the face with a bunch of stuff. And Adam Cole's like, okay. I guess it's set then. And then William Regal's like, oh, if it gets to a 3rd fall, like there was any doubt, I'm going to surprise you with something. And boy, did he ever. As we brought down does the structure have a name? I didn't catch if the structure actually had a name.
The Asylum 2.0. No, I'm kidding.
Essentially, we got a steel cage with barbed wire draped
It was
over the top.
it was touted as a no escape steel cage, right?
A no escape steel cage, and scattered around this cage, tied up with zip ties, were a variety of different weapons, from sledgehammers and kendo sticks to ladders and tables that were set up at the very top.
I believe I saw a giant monkey wrench and a lead pipe, about a 2-foot long piece of lead pipe, which could have been a plastic pipe.
I'm
Spray
surprised
painted.
they didn't throw the kitchen sink on there again.
Right.
But these things would all lead to one brutal match, which would include several tables and the ladders, and using a table set up in a corner on top of the cage as a platform to go through, unfortunately, one table because they missed the other. I mean, you did get that, right? That they just overshot one of the tables because they had 2 set up?
I think it was the best. I think it was for good, because I don't know how Adam Cole would have been able to pin. There wouldn't have been a clean pin if both tables would have been destroyed. So I'm kind of glad that they overshot the first one.
I'm almost inclined to think that maybe Adam Cole was just supposed to land on top of Johnny Gargano through the tables, and that's that.
Yeah.
But
that would have been dangerous for Johnny.
I give this a 4-star rating, in agreement with Mr. Meltzer, who also gave it 4 stars.
I'm going to give it 5 stars, but I think it's their second best match. I still think the first meeting between these two guys was the best. This is the 3rd match, the rubber match, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So Johnny won the first one. Adam won the second one. Adam takes this match. Um, I believe the first one where Johnny won. I think that was the best match that they had personally for me. But I still give this a 5-star match. I think this was the best match in the entire weekend. Um, both men doing their shout out to Mick Foley by just diving onto a table at the end. I thought that was awesome. This match would have got a 5.5 stars from me if Mitch the Pottery Plant somehow would have been made a cameo at the top corner of one of the corners in the steel cage. But that's just me. If you guys don't know that reference, then shame on you. Man, Adam Cole is such a star. But
Who?
Adam Cole.
Never
Such
heard
a
of
star. And it's not really the match that I want to talk about. It's what's next for Johnny Gargano. Is he going to go to 205 Live? Or is he going to get that Ricochet Aleister Black treatment? You know, just casually be brought up to Raw or SmackDown and probably be put into a tag team until it's time for him to be put on a singles run or something. I don't know. I really don't know. It's scary. Maybe Johnny is a NXT lifer. Who knows? I know.
We haven't really found a true NXT lifer yet, have we?
I don't think so.
You know, now would be a great time for anybody involved in the WWE to realize, hey, we have a huge freaking roster, so how about we let our guys go work elsewhere until they're actually needed?
Yeah. Truth
Can
be
you
told,
imagine if Roderick Strong, right? He's no longer needed in NXT. They fill the spot. They don't really have a place for him in the main roster. But what if he was traveling the Indies? Maybe he shows up in New Japan. You know, just places where he can make an appearance and you know, win some matches.
NXT UK or Evolve or something. You know,
and when he finally gets utilized for Raw or SmackDown, they can hype it up with, you know, he's spent the last year or so traveling the world, racking up wins, making a bigger name for himself than it already was, and now he's here and he's ready to take his spot on the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
It'd certainly be a lot better than, you know, showing up and, oh, this is going to be your tag team partner for the next 6 months. Oh.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
All right. Overall, I'm going to give the pay-per-view a 8 out of 10.
I'm going to 100% agree with you on that. It wasn't the best takeover we've ever seen. It did have very clear lowlights, but the highlights were spectacular, and I'd watch it again.
Yeah.
Unlike what happened the next night, WWE presented SummerSlam in, where was it? Oh yeah, also Toronto. And gosh, that wasn't the the follow-up that I'd hoped it would be.
Yeah, me too. I didn't do too well.
Well, I have
Only because I picked everybody from Canada to win their matches.
I think I got 7 correct.
Yeah, I think I got 5. I'm not sure.
Well, I have the Meltzer ratings pulled up for this one if you want to do the same thing.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, I know you didn't watch the pre-show, but I'm just going to go ahead and run that down real quick. Drew Gulak versus Oni Lorcan. Drew Gulak retained the Cruiserweight Championship in 8:47. Meltzer gave it 2.75. Let's see. Buddy Murphy versus Apollo Crews for reasons, I guess. 1.75 from the Melts. And in a heart and soul crushing match with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus the Iconics, 6 minutes and 10 seconds, Meltzer gave it 1 star.
Yikes. Oh, goody.
I mean, when it comes to Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, Nikki Cross, and the Iconics,
Wow.
you know,
You
that
better hope
is,
she's not listening.
hopefully,
You're going to be sleeping on a couch tonight, brother.
I don't own a couch.
Honestly, it's not their fault. WWE has done a poor job of building not just the match, but the women's tag division. They had the
There's a women's
titles
tag
on
division?
layaway. Yeah, they had the titles on layaway for a couple of months. They did nothing with the belts.
And they're still doing nothing with them.
Hmm.
But on to the main card proper. Opening the show, defending the Raw Women's Championship, Becky Lynch took on Natalya in a match that went 12 minutes and 26 seconds. Becky Lynch retained the Raw Women's Championship, and Meltzer gave that match 3.25 stars.
Wow. I actually gave this a 2.75.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. I was kind of, like I said, I had the match planned out in my head because they usually go with screwy finishes, especially with a big pay-per-view in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
I just expected it, and we didn't get it.
I would think that dangling sharpshooter off the side of the ring apron would be enough to...
That was the spot of the match right there, but, I mean, geez. Like, everything that I wanted to happen didn't happen, but everything that I didn't expect blew me away. And that goes for the whole pay-per-view.
You know, when Becky was dangling and looked like she was, trying to reach something under the ring, I started thinking, what do they do if the thing she's looking for is not on that side of the ring? How are they going to reset
she pulled
that?
out a she pulled out a bucket full of pancakes. Cold
the
pancakes.
side of the ring.
Yeah, it's like, welp, we can't use that spot in the WWE title match. Darn it.
Or what if she reached down there, pulled up the ring apron, and there was Hornswoggle. It's like, we weren't supposed to see him yet.
Personally, I think a submission match should be at least 15 to 20 minutes.
And
12 minutes is kind of short.
What's with the different rules? It seems
WWE or I don't know. They never can stick to the rules, or either they change it or I don't know. I really don't know.
If you want to know, I guess, what Vince McMahon thinks about people like us, if you recall, for years, you and I have been calling for...
Are you referring to the rope break when there was no rope break, but the ref called a rope break? Is that what you're referring to?
Just everything. Like, are there rope breaks in submission matches? Is it no DQ? It seems like anytime they have a submission match, the rules are different.
Right. Like, the only way that they can break a submission is if the wrestler who has, the wrestler that's trying to reach for the ropes, they have to go under the rope as if they're trying to exit the ring itself. Like, they can't grab the rope. There is no rope break. They can't grab the corner of the ring or the edge of the ring or the ring apron. Like, It's like they're gripping the ring apron like it's some sort of out of bounds thing, and they stare at the ref like, "Come on, no." At least get half of your body, at least get your entire torso out of the ring underneath the rope. That would constitute, you know, it's just weird.
I think, well, like I was saying, if you want to know what Vince thinks about people like us, we've been saying for years, there should be an official WWE rule book. Rule book. I'm having a problem with words. There should be a rule book that sets out every match type, just lays it out there in black and white. These are the rules. So you have something consistent. That way you have something bad guys can, break. So they can be bad guys.
I would rather have two referees, one in the ring, one outside the ring, at all times.
And remember,
do something
the WWE
different.
Did release an official rule book, and it was a joke. And I don't mean that in the sense of they made an honest attempt and it was bad.
It was
I mean, it was straight up a comedy book release.
Yeah.
While entertaining, it's not what I want. I want to know what the freaking rules are for each match. So when I see a match, I know what to expect as far as what they're allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do. I want to be able to yell at the ref and say, "You missed that call," instead of seeing like, "Oh, that's not against the rules in this version." So that's what I'd like to see.
All right, what's the next match?
Next up, Bayley versus Ember Moon. Bayley defending the WWE SmackDown Championship, Women's Championship against Ember Moon, and unfortunately, Ember Moon has not been a rising star, so to speak, since coming up to the main roster. But in a 10-minute match, I give this one 2.25 because Bayley, but Meltzer gave it 1.75 stars.
I give this a 0.5.
Wow.
The match, it was kind of okay, but this match should have been on a kickoff show, or it shouldn't have been on this card at all. Why? Because this match makes no sense. Why? Because Ember Moon has no right to be in this match. Why? Because her booking isn't even 50-50. She lost a lot, and she was made to look stupid for weeks. She was weak going into this match. This match shouldn't have happened at a big pay-per-view. It shouldn't even happen on a pay-per-view at all. To me, it wasn't justified. If somebody else, I would have rather have a Mandy Rose versus Bayley. Why? Because at least Mandy Rose has won a couple of singles matches on SmackDown.
Yeah.
So I'm not cutting her down. I'm cutting the booking down. If you look at Samoa Joe, until recently, Samoa Joe has only won 3 matches since WrestleMania. 3 or 4 matches since WrestleMania. And he's had like 10 matches. Ember Moon is basically Samoa Joe. She's been featured a good amount of times, but she doesn't come out on the good end of the matches.
Here's what I'm going to tell you you're wrong. Because Samoa Joe has something that Ember Moon doesn't, and that is the ability to make sure that no matter whether he wins or loses, he is still seen as a freaking unstoppable force. He is Samoa Joe, and Joe is going to kill you. Ember Moon, while she does get, a fair amount of airtime, is what? Seen backstage playing on a Switch or having a magazine shoved in her face. It's apples and oranges as to what they're doing on screen. Because Joe is made to look tough, and Ember Moon is not. And she is the perfect person in the women's division to have that kind of, not necessarily the straight up in your face Joe feel, but she should be a mysterious force. I mean, look at her. Her entrance. Her attire. She's a warrior. And they're just not portraying that.
I'm not knocking Joe. I'm knocking his booking. Like, what has Joe done to get all these championships? It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know why. Yes, I'm not going to deny he's the best guy on the microphone right now, but that's not enough. I want to see some wins. I want to see some I don't want him to get fed to Brock Lesnar's and Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman after building him up on TV for several weeks, and then he loses a big critical match on a pay-per-view. Rinse and repeat since April. Or before that, even going up into WrestleMania, what was it, when he defeated Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship or something? Even before then, he had a losing streak, and then he won a number one contenders match, lost again, decides to defend the championship against Rey Mysterio, and retains it, and then loses again some more, and then he eventually drops the title. I don't know, man. Like, I just can't get behind Joe, and I'm one of the biggest Samoa Joe nut huggers, one of his biggest fans. It just doesn't make any sense to me, and I can't agree with the booking at all. But yeah.
Yeah, like I said, Joe, he still made it look strong, and considering how things are run, which is hardly at all, that's what seems to be more important than anything. Oh, you look tough? Then yeah, I'm going to give you a title shot because I hate the guy that has the title. That's basically the way it works. You ready for the next match?
Go for it.
Goldberg versus Dolph Ziggler.
Can I give my rating?
Sure.
I give this a 3.75. This was everything that Goldberg needed. And my only criticism of it is the end of the post-match stuff. He kept coming back to the ring to spear Ziggler. He should have just did it once. But I give it a 3.75. And I hope this is it for Goldberg. I hope that's it.
All right, just in case you're wondering, that that little exclamation was from my daughter, who happened to step on something as she's walking through Symphony Studios 1. I wasn't, doing it.
I know, I heard that. Ow!
Just don't want you to think I smacked my kid or something. No, she just stepped on something that was left on the floor. What are you doing,
leaving Legos all over the house?
That's actually what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, in a match that lasted 1 minute 45 seconds. By the way, I have to say, when I was speaking with Amber about this match, I said it wouldn't go more than 60 seconds. And I guess I was proven wrong once again. But at the end of the day, Meltzer gave this 3 stars.
Wow. Okay. I can respect that. I thought he was going to give it like a 1.5. To me, I think this what needed to happen in this match. We all kind of knew it was going to be a squash anyway. I just wanted him to get redemption for the Undertaker match at Super Showdown. That's all I wanted.
We got to
I
see.
mean, the guy concussed himself before the match. He slammed his head against the door.
He's got to stop doing that.
Yeah.
But we got to see Goldberg in classic form.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 3 stars is fine because it wasn't supposed to be a wrestling match for the ages. It was supposed to be an entertaining segment where the hero gets to beat down the villain, and people love Goldberg.
Who would be a good physical matchup for Goldberg?
Me?
If he came out of retirement for just one match, I think Steve Austin would be a great matchup.
Yeah.
I would kill to get tickets to see Austin versus Goldberg.
You know, speaking of coming out of retirement, we didn't talk about Edge.
I don't think he's coming out of retirement. I think it's a one-off.
The quote making its way around the headlines of Facebook pages is, of course, from an interview where he said, "I think I still got one more match left in me."
I think it was Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com. By the way, best wrestling news, breaking news website out there, most legit. I think Sean Ross Sapp said that the no contact clause for some of the legends, his no contact clause is still in effect, which is very strange. So when he did the spear, I was actually shocked.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be a shocking moment and get the internet abuzz with, is Edge coming back? No, Edge is not coming back. But just the thought that he might get one more match, maybe, is enough to make, fans of Edge go, who could it be? Who could it be? But that's a discussion for another time. We should write it down, table it, and get on with the rest of the show.
I would go with the Edge versus Christian farewell tour match.
Where they do a 30-second match and then a 2-hour podcast in the middle of the ring.
Right.
Let's see.
Or they wrestle with a hot mic, a lavalier mic in their head. They're wrestling each other while doing the podcast.
That would be great. All right, we're gonna slingshot, brother. Time to strap the rocket on.
They're calling the match throughout every transition. All right. Next match.
I'm sorry.
The secrets of wrestling unveiled by Edge and Christian.
I just see Christian, right? He's like, they're mic'd up. The mics are hot. We can hear everything they're saying, and he's like,
"Damn it! I think I pulled my groin, Adam. Like, damn it!"
This clothesline is brought to you by Harry's.
By the way, I've been meaning to speak to you about that.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Have you tried Harry's?
No.
I was gonna say, well, which is better, Harry's or Dollar Shave Club?
I was with Dollar Shave Club for a long time, but
how did you like it?
It was fine. They were, punctual with the razor deliveries, but I decided that I'm gonna keep my beard, so I haven't shaved in a couple of years.
Sweet.
I've trimmed it, but use trimmers for that.
I'll give it a try. I'll give Dollar Shave Club a try and see if we can get them to sponsor the podcast.
Okay. So next time you hear about a company like that, they could be giving us, I don't know, at least a free razor.
Yeah.
Next up, AJ Styles versus Ricochet. Ricochet.
Ooh.
In a 12-minute and 54-second instant okay match.
I give it a 3.25. I don't know. I mean, they haven't done anything that they haven't done already. And I think this is their fourth match with each other, if I'm not mistaken. Um, to me, the biggest takeaway of this match was who Ricochet was dressed up as. Was he supposed to be Nightwing?
Yes.
Because that thing for a wrestling suit looked corny as hell, but for a cosplay outfit, 10 out of 10.
What about, what was it, Alexa Bliss that was dressed as Buzz Lightyear? And she even did the laser thing?
Right. That one kind of fell flat until I read it on Twitter the day after. I was like, oh.
I think it's cool that cosplay is becoming a bigger thing, it seems, in wrestling.
That's why I'm a huge fan of Leva Bates.
That's what I was going to say. Everyone can thank Leva Bates for that, because she is the real deal, go to conventions, cosplaying person.
Oh, man, I just don't like the librarian gimmick. Peter Avalon can keep it. I just don't want her to have it. That's just my opinion. I even told her on her Twitch channel.
Yeah, I don't...
She said
she
it.
already
She
had a
says
great
it's
gimmick.
growing on her. She says it's growing on her.
She already had a great gimmick, and if she wants to have something where she's reading, it doesn't have to be a librarian.
Yeah.
That seems
why-
very 80s as far as gimmicks go.
Like, why do we have two librarians? Can't we have a librarian and then an administrator or something? I don't know.
Back to AJ Styles and Ricochet. I gave it also a 3.25, but Meltzer gave it a 3-star rating.
I respect that.
Next, Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon. I know, leading up to this match, I did a lot of, okay, the match coming up at SummerSlam is Steve Austin versus Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon. And quite frankly, I don't think the parallels are lost on anybody. This match went 9 minutes and 21 seconds. And this match, along with another match we'll get to later, when you think of it with the context that Goldberg and Dolph Ziggler got 3 stars, and Meltzer gave this one 2 stars, I think there's some sort of disconnect in the rating system there. Because
I thought this match was fun.
The match was meant to be what it was meant to be. And I think the Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon match was exactly what it should have been, considering the stipulation involved. So,
yeah, I mean, I just thought that this match was fun and it was entertaining, and I wasn't looking forward to this match. I'm tired of this storyline, and I wanted it to be over, and I was hoping that it would be over. And that's why, I give this match a 3.5.
I gave it 3.
Yeah, I was expecting this match to be a 1.5, but it proved me wrong. I actually enjoyed it more than I thought it would be.
It did exactly what it was supposed to do, which was entertain me. And that's all I'm looking for.
Yep. Just please let this be over. Oh.
Well, now Shane McMahon has to officially begin his corporate stable. Yeah.
The corporation 2.0.
McMahon Incorporated. How about that?
Jeez.
Okay, next
the best in the world. The bestest in the world.
God, if they're not going to sign CM Punk, or if CM Punk doesn't come back, to shut him up, it's just like the biggest troll job ever.
Well, Punk ran around with that moniker, but I thought Jericho ran around with that moniker long before Punk did.
Yeah, but they're only doing it to, stick it to Punk.
Really?
Shane McMahon, the best in the world, really?
I thought they were doing it to tease other wrestling companies saying that they have the best wrestling in the world. That's why I thought they did it with the whole Shane McMahon thing. I don't know. Are they really doing it to punk out CM Punk?
There's no official report saying it's
Okay.
But it's one of those things where it's like the audience picked up on it because every time, they mention that tagline, it is chants of CM Punk. They have been revitalized.
I just noticed when they did the best in the world thing at, what was the Greatest Royal Rumble or whatever that tournament was in Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
I know that New Japan was running, we have the best wrestling in the world, and for a couple of weeks or months straight until that point, and I figured like they were taking jabs at New Japan.
I would say it was a jab at New Japan if they actually ran a legit tournament and did not have Shane McMahon win it all.
Well, they don't have Shane McMahon, but the tournament is legit.
Next up, in a match that probably surprised a lot of people, and a match that I got wrong, Charlotte Flair took on Trish Stratus in a match that lasted, get this, 16 minutes and 27 seconds.
Yeah.
It was the longest match of the night. And Charlotte. Now, when we recorded the previous episode of the Backstage Slam, episode number 156, that was on a Thursday when I made my picks, and because I wait to make my picks for the pay-per-view prediction league, which, by the way, you can keep track of on our Discord. It's too late to sign up, unfortunately, but sign up for the Discord anyway, and when the next season starts, hop on board. But
you can still drop your pay-per-view picks for fun in general chat.
Yeah. But the next day, the day after we recorded, is when Trish Stratus said, "This is my last match." And I was thinking, crap. I always make my picks on the air. And I don't alter them, even though I can up until 1 hour before, the first show. Now, I was tempted to make my changes, but I didn't. I stayed with what was said on the show, and I paid the price for it, because Trish, in her last match, did exactly what she was supposed to. And I gave this match 3.5 stars, and the Melts, Team Melts himself, gave it 3.25 stars.
Yeah, I give this 3.25 as well. I would have given it a 4. However, I think like the first 7 minutes of the match was really slow. And you could see the ring rust there between both women. But if you take away that first 5, 6, 7 minutes, I think we would have had the match that stole the entire show, in my honest opinion. I also got this match loss. I thought that, like I said, I picked all the Canadians to win their matches. So I'm going to remember next time, whenever they have a returning legend who claim that it's going to be their final match, I'm actually going to pick the person that is not them. Because all of the legends who have stated their, final matches and in the ring, they've lost.
Well, that's tradition, You do the honors on your way out.
That hasn't happened until fairly recently, though, in WWE.
When was the last time somebody retired and wasn't, forced to do so medically?
Flair.
And technically, he did the honors for his WWE career.
Right. But, like I said, who retired, came back for a little bit, and then said, okay, this is my last match, and then still won. It's been a while.
I
At least,
no idea.
5 years? Because the most recent one, before Trish, it was Kurt Angle. And we all picked him to win.
And you lost.
Yeah, which was a mistake, in my opinion. Because it did nothing for Corbin.
As we can tell by his continued absence. Although he is in the King of the Ring tournament.
I think he's a favorite. But we'll get to the King of the Ring.
Let's see. Okay, next up, a match that even with 16 minutes and 27 seconds could not find the appropriate next gear. It's no fault of the champion, Kofi Kingston, who defended the SmackDown Championship against Randy Orton. But in my opinion, Randy, he just has a hard time getting people to really care anymore. That's why I gave this match, in agreement with Dave Meltzer, 2.5 stars.
Same. 2.5. This match kind of broke my heart a little bit. I expected a lot more. This match also screwed me, and pretty much everybody who is in the predictions group. Yeah, I don't know, man. I really don't know. But I kind of get the feeling that Kofi's time as champion is... I would have liked to see a year-long reign, but I don't think that's going to happen.
No, it's probably going to end in October.
Yeah.
I'm guessing on a Friday night. On a new network.
Probably.
But that's just me guessing. Next up.
If they do, I hope it's against Shinsuke. Oh my god. I'm
Probably.
Keeping that dream alive.
Probably be against Brock.
Oh, that would be pretty good. And honestly, I think that'll be good.
Next up, again, this is one of those matches where I think the rating system is facing some sort of disconnect with the entertainment value of what we saw. The Fiend versus Finn Balor in a quote-unquote match that lasted 3 minutes and 26 seconds. The Fiend, of course, won. I don't think anybody, anywhere, was going to pick Finn Balor to win this. But Meltzer only gave it 2 stars.
Oh my god, I give this a 4. And the entrance had a lot to do with it. I would have rated a little bit higher, but I personally, I don't think that Finn should have gotten any offense at all. But yeah, like this new Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, I'm all in, man. I'm sold. Best thing ever. Here's the problem. There's rumors that the reason why Bray won't be on TV for a little bit is that they have to repackage him. I mean, not repackage. They have to retinker. don't be surprised if the Bray Wyatt head for a lantern is going to be different. Because I read a lot of stuff that sponsors didn't like that. A severed head for a lamp, even though it was fake, but it looked
Yeah.
lifelike. It really did look lifelike. It was Bray. It was Bray Wyatt's face molded into that lantern, and I definitely could see that. But if WWE is trying to push for a TV 14 rating come October across Raw and SmackDown, I don't know. I think WWE executives needs to sit down with all their corporate sponsors and get on the same page. It sucks, and I hope that's not the case. But if they do, I don't know. Here's my thing, Josh. You know what? The Fiend's mask reminds me of the disturbed mascot, the guy. Go look at the guy, the face. It looks just like the Fiend. It really does. And if they're going to change, like I said, it's all rumors. But if they're forced to change, the severed head with the big stretched out mouth for the lantern, I don't know. Just make it look like a demonic pumpkin lantern. Make it the Fiend. Make it a pumpkin with the Fiend's face or something, instead of a severed head with blood at the bottom, or blood leaking from the eyes and the mouth and the nose. I don't know. To me, they should just leave it alone as is. So I hope it's all rumors, and I hope they leave the Fiend. Here's the thing: now that they got Bray where he really needs to be, booked properly, they can't overuse him. If he has to be featured on TV, I hope they continue to do funhouse spots.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the Fiend comes out in the video, he can direct his interest in who he wants, or have the Fiend come out, or have Bray just talk about somebody, maybe talk crap about somebody on the funhouse, or he calls out somebody or makes fun of somebody, or maybe he just comes out and does what he did to Mick Foley, except he does it to his the next person he wants to go after. I don't know. Personally, I want a slow build up and then have him have the Universal Championship put on him. But then again, I think it is going to be a difficult book to have a character like him be your Universal Champion. It is going to be very, very tricky, because you want to stick your Universal Champion on TV every single week. So it is going to be tricky. But they need, at least for the time being, they need to use him. The gimmick, the Fiend gimmick has to be used sparingly. Seldomly used on TV.
Yeah. Let's get more of that Firefly Funhouse. I mean, I can see him on the Firefly Funhouse, saying
WWE has a compilation they just released of every single episode in the 130-minute video.
Can you imagine, right? There's an episode on fire safety, and he's saying, "All right, kids, don't play with matches," and then it just cuts to, "Oh, and Seth Rollins, we hear you like to burn it down. But remember what happens when you play with fire. You get burnt." And then it just does that cut to the Fiend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's too soon for that. You know what would be better, though, with that fire theme? What if Kane, what if Kane says, "Okay, I'm announcing I'm retiring very soon," made it known that he's going to retire very soon, and then on TV, it's, he chooses Bray Wyatt to go out against, and then they do a Fiend versus, Kane. You know, I want to see the Fiend take on Kane, defeat him, and then Kane is retired. The Fiend defeat the Undertaker. The Undertaker retires. The Fiend versus the Demon Finn Balor beats the Demon.
You want to know what I want to see? Okay, I'm going to ask you
The
this.
Fiend versus Aleister Black, Gothic Vampire, or whatever
really
the heck.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Okay. This would piss off the world. Roman Reigns becomes the Undertaker.
When you said Roman Reigns, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that's already stupid. I'm kidding, Marks. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Roman Reigns becomes the new Undertaker. So Roman Reigns, no more Roman Reigns. He just becomes the Undertaker.
Oh God.
It fits his personality perfectly.
He has the walk.
Yeah. No
he has
more
the long hair.
suffering succotash or this is my yard. You know what? I'm surprised he and Titus don't have a tag team right now. This is our yard. So, yeah. Roman Reigns becomes the new Undertaker.
Oh boy.
Stupid, right? It would be great. It would be great.
What did you rate this match?
I gave it 3.75.
Nice.
Because I, as I said before, rate by entertainment value. Not necessarily every wrist lock and headlock and toe hold. Just, was I entertained by this match? How much?
Mm-hmm. Oh my God! What about that entrance? The music. Oh man, Code Orange did an amazing remix of it. Thank God. I thought CFOS was going to remix it.
Now,
and
Ben.
I was like, oh,
Ben.
oh,
Ben.
Oh,
you know that we don't judge by entrances. It's only what happens between the bells. That's how we do the stars ratings here. I'm just messing. That's terrible.
Is Jim Cornette your father?
Why do you ask?
I rest my case. Next match.
Next up, the main event of SummerSlam, the biggest party of the summer, is Seth Rollins.
By the way, sorry to cut you off. By the way, if you guys are wondering why the last 2-3 weeks that Josh and I have been, our timing is a little bit off, is because my webcam's broken, and we usually do podcasts on video, so we can actually point to each other. So there's no 5-second silence between the two of us. Okay, I gotta buy a new damn webcam. The webcam's broken.
Then do that.
Well,
Party of the summer.
Trying.
Seth Rollins took on Brock Lesnar, the WWE Universal Champion, in a match where it was a guarantee that Brock Lesnar would win and go on about his winning ways until there would be finally a worthy contender to take that spot. Is what I said before SummerSlam. What had actually happened was Seth Rollins went on to beat that ace in a match that went 13 minutes and 18 seconds. That's right, Brock Lesnar showed up to work. And then, get this, he worked a match. Meltzer is rewarding their efforts with a 4.25 rating.
I'm going to go over him and give it a 4.5. I think this is the best Universal title match in a history of Universal title, or the second best Universal title match. It's either between this or the inaugural match between the Demon Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins for the first Universal title match. And that's saying a lot. And I haven't seen, like I said, this match outweighed its expectations. I expected this match to go 6 minutes. It went a little bit more than twice that, and yeah, I mean, the only issue I have with it is Seth could have sold his so-called rib injuries a little bit more, especially during those German suplexes that actually landed. But other than that, I haven't seen Brock Lesnar sell for anybody as hard as he did in a long time, and than what he did in this match for Seth Rollins. And I got to give respect to Brock. Brock put on an winning performance for selling all the offense that Seth gave him, and then he punished them. I think Seth Rollins did 60% of the offense, and Brock Lesnar did 40% of the offense, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, I only watched the match once, but I was surprised that that Brock Lesnar, at least in my eyes, wasn't the overall dominant person in a Brock Lesnar match, and that's why I'm giving it high praise. I'm giving it 4.5. It blew me away, and I think this match saved SummerSlam for me.
You know, I'm not going to disagree with what you said. I did go lower. I give 4 stars because, as you mentioned, the no selling of the ribs thing, it really took me out of it, mostly because towards the beginning of the match, before Seth started really getting into it, before he started doing it, getting his comeback, I was thinking, oh, they are really laying it on thick on Seth Rollins.
He got in the another thing. He got in the ring too fast when he did the frog splash from the turnbuckle onto the table on the outside. He got in the ring way too fast, in my opinion.
Just that whole thing where
Ben is
Brock
very
Lesnar
nitpicky.
is punishing the ribs, and I'm thinking, oh, does Seth need time off? Because that's how you get time off, by repeatedly, brutally attacking an injured area of the body. Instead, he just turned off the rib pain and proceeded to beat down the beast. So I gave it 4 stars, and it was a lot better than I thought it would be, and possibly better than it had any right to be.
Where would you rate this Universal title match in its short history? Or short champion lineage?
I couldn't even begin to imagine.
It's got to be up there near the top.
A really good match.
Yeah, it got to be up there with the top because there hasn't been any stellar matches
top
for like
90%.
Sure. Yeah.
But as far as anything else, I couldn't. The only thing that keeps coming to mind is the lost opportunity we had for Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho to fight for it at WrestleMania after the Festival of Friendship.
Oh my god, that was a storyline I was so looking forward to.
And instead we got Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. Why?
Yeah.
Because reasons. I'm still saying to this day, that match, if you want to do Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, you don't need the Universal title involved with that. Just let Owens and Jericho keep running their program because it makes sense. It is heated. People are invested, and instead everyone just gets swerved, and the title is just gone.
Yeah.
But that's a very old argument that we don't need to really break down something that happened 3 years ago.
I know a lot of people are going to say Brock Lesnar versus AJ or Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan would be better than this match, but to me, I think this match edges that out. And the very first Universal title match. That's how good I thought, like overall, like not just the in-ring stuff, but the interest, like I thought the crowd wasn't going to be into it. I thought we all was expecting a Brock Lesnar suplex city-a-thon, but I was wrong. Like this match made me say, "Oh man, I was wrong." And if a match can do that in a good way, then It deserves more credit than I would normally give it.
You know what we should do? Next week on the Backstage Slam podcast, episode number 158, we should take a look at the lineage of the Universal Championship and talk about some of the best title defenses that it's had in its short history.
I actually could do it right now, but
Well, we're already going 80 minutes right now, so
oh wow.
yeah.
I guess we should end it then, or do we have time?
I'm not saying it's time to go yet, but it's getting there.
King of the Ring, last thing. I don't know.
Now I want to talk about the G1 real quick.
Oh, okay.
Because since we were last on the air, we had the two semifinals, and then the finals, and a winner was crowned. So
Yeah.
how about you take it away? Tell us about the conclusion of the 2019 G1 Climax.
Honestly, I think something happened during the final night that overshadowed the overall tournament. I'll get to that after. So with 3 days remaining, we had the finals of A block. We had Kazuchika Okada taking on Kota Ibushi. Okada was in the lead with 14 points. Ibushi had 12 points. Ibushi needed to defeat Kazuchika Okada to come up with a tie, and because if he had beaten Okada, he would have got the tiebreaker, even if they were tied at 14 points apiece, which did happen. Yeah, Kota Ibushi was your A block winner, which is who I picked to win A block from the very beginning, and a lot of people picked him as well. And then the night after that, night 2, we had the B block finals. It came down to 4 men. Unfortunately, Hiroki Goto and John Moxley both got eliminated. They both lost their matches. It came down to Tetsuya Naito and Jay White in the main event. Jay White ended up taking that victory, all thanks to Gato. Man, I hate when it comes to Naito in a big, crucial match and Gato is anywhere involved with it. Man, I hate that guy more than anything, but whatever. I'm always biased when it comes to my favorite wrestler. Yeah, Jay White, leader of the Bullet Club, takes B block, and then we have our finals on night number 3. This took place on the same night as NXT Takeover on Saturday, at least Saturday night for me, or early Sunday morning. So yeah, we had Kota Ibushi versus Jay White in the finals for the G1. Kota Ibushi wins. However, something happened during this final night, during the G1. We had a new member of the Bullet Club join the Bullet Club. So what happened was we had a tag team match. It had Kenta and a couple of guys. I can't remember who. And then we had the Bullet Club. We had Guerrillas of Destiny with Bad Luck Fale. Kenta turned. I think it was Tomohiro Ishii and some other Chaos guys, I believe. I like I said, it was his team was made up of different stablemates or whatever. But in the end, his team went for a tag to tag in Kenta. Kenta jumped off the ring apron and walked halfway up the ring ramp. He came back down, and just as his team was about to win the match, he betrayed him, helped the Bullet Club win their match, and then they started beating up on one of the losers of that match. And then right as they were about to do the Bullet Club 2 Sweet Salute, um, Katsuyori Shibata came out to the ring, who was forced into retirement due to having a serious concussion, which was life threatening at that time. He came to the ring, started kicking Kenta's butt, uh, doing all of his big special moves and everything. Biggest roar of the night, like seriously, like him wrestling and beating up Kenta, like had the biggest ovation that I've heard in wrestling in all of 2019 thus far. Like it was seriously the pop off. That it was an epic pop off. It was like Stone Cold Steve Austin type of pop off. Like you gotta go check it out on YouTube. It was that good. It was that epic. Um, then Bullet Club, and then he started clearing out Bullet Club guys. I was trying to save Kenta. He started beating up Kenta in the corner, and then all of a sudden Tama Tonga gets him, hits him with the gun stun, RKO move, and then they all started beating up on Kenta. I mean, they started beating up on Shibata, but they avoided hitting Shibata in the head, which was really good. And then what Kenta did was after they were done beating him up, Kenta sat on top of Shibata's chest in that Shibata move where he crossed his legs like as if he's into Zen meditation mode, just mocking him, and the crowd was just booing Kenta. Normally, when you think Bullet Club, you think foreigners, gaijins, right? But when a Japanese guy gets invited to the Bullet Club, they don't, they're not considered popular, I guess. But this makes sense. I think this is a huge get for Bullet Club. My personal opinion on the Bullet Club is ever since Jay White took over, Bullet Club, I don't know, like I can't take Bullet Club seriously. They're not at the forefront. And let's face it, altogether, there hasn't been any warring factions within New Japan over the course of the last 9 months. There just isn't anything going on between the stables, really. So hopefully with this, maybe we get to see things going. I don't know. I just don't buy Jay White as the leader. Maybe Tama Tonga, perhaps. I'm more behind him, but hey, this is a big get for the Bullet Club. I just need to see some stable war going on, And yeah, so another thing here, New Japan's going to be going to Europe. They're going to be doing a European tour. We have 2 huge main events. The first one they have is going to be for Zack Sabre Jr.'s British Heavyweight Championship, where he'd be defending against Hiroshi Tanahashi. And then the second main event is going to be Kazuchika Okada defending the IWGP Heavyweight Championship against Minoru Suzuki. And that's where we are with the... Oh, and one more thing. Jon Moxley was defeated by Juice Robinson. That's how he got eliminated. Moxley then said, he basically said, hey, if you want to do it again, let's do it. And then Juice Robinson said basically the same thing. So it looks like it's going to be Jon Moxley versus Juice Robinson sometime soon. Maybe it'll happen next month during the Destruction Tour. So that's pretty much it. Nothing much on New Japan other than their UK tour and the Destruction Tour, which isn't going to be happening at least for another 3 weeks. It maybe mid-September. So it's going to be a while till we get some more New Japan content flowing through the podcast.
Well, I think you just proved to the Backstage Slam audience, as well as any new listeners, exactly why you are the New Japan guy, Ben.
Oh, I forgot some things too.
Go
It
ahead.
seems that Sonata's contract is up at New Japan, and I know that WWE has been showing interest. Um, there hasn't been any updates with that other than that he still is without a contract right now. So I will be digging very hard to get the latest of that. We don't know. I think he's going to stay with New Japan. I see it very hard for him to not be involved with Los Ingobernables. But word on the grapevine is Hiromu Takahashi is going to be making a comeback to ring action very soon. And if that happens, we already had the announcement 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago that Shingo Takagi moved up to the heavyweight division, so he's no longer in a junior. So when Hiromu Takahashi comes back, he'll be at the forefront of the junior heavyweight division for LIJ moving forward. And I think that's pretty much it. I'll try to think of some more because I know there's at least one more news in terms of New Japan. But yeah, huge, big free agent news, at least until this very moment. Sanada, free man right now. Where would you like to see him go?
Well, I'd always love to see him in NXT.
Interesting. I want to see him in AEW.
Yeah, right now I don't think he would get the welcome he so richly deserves in AEW. Not because they wouldn't appreciate him, but because it seems like their top of the card is already lining up pretty nicely.
Yeah,
I think Sonata can make a pretty good impact in NXT almost immediately.
I haven't heard him speak English. I've been trying to look. I've been Googling Sonata English. I just couldn't find anything. So I don't know how fluent he is, but hey, sometimes language isn't everything, unless you're in WWE for the casual fan. Because even to this day, my Twitter is filled with 40% of people, I don't like Shinsuke Nakamura because I can't understand him. Which is unfair, but whatever.
What? I'm trying to find a way to word this. What non-native English speaker has had problems in NXT though? Because it seems like they do fairly well.
Yeah. I mean, that's NXT though. I think the hardcore fan are more forgiving than the casual fan. Yeah,
And
I
let the ring work do the talking.
basically.
Okay, I think that will actually do it for the week. You want
All
to
right.
get our sponsors plugged real quick?
No sponsors at the moment, but I will plug the Patreon if you guys would like to donate and help support the podcast. You guys can go ahead and become a Patreon supporter. It's a monthly subscription service where you can support us for $1, $5, $10, or $20 a month. Whatever you choose, you can change your subscription tiers or you can cancel at any time at no extra charge to you. Go ahead to patreon.com/BSP_Ben. That's patreon.com/BSP_Ben. And go ahead and join us on social media. We already said it earlier in the podcast, but another thing, join our Discord server. It's our community Discord server. We no longer have our Facebook group. Go and visit my my Twitter, Josh's Twitter, or Michael's Twitter, or the Backstage Slam's Twitter, and grab the Discord link. Go ahead and I'll go ahead and post another one today, and I'll probably pin it to my profile as well. But if not, you guys can go ahead and go through all 4 of our Twitter profiles and scroll just a little bit down, and you might see the Discord link, because we've been spamming it recently. We got a couple of new members. And it's not just a wrestling talk. We got gamers in there too. We've been playing with the Backstage Slam Wrestling Podcast community all over gaming, Xbox Live or PlayStation Network, or on PC on Steam. So go ahead, join our Discord. Let's talk wrestling. Let's talk gaming. Let's connect.
Okay. Well, if you want to play a game with me, my name's the same as my Twitter, SkidComic. It's all over Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam. Wherever you can sign up for something, you'll find SkidComic. And with all that being said, that's one of my favorite things. I think it's about time to hit the dusty trail and say goodnight to everybody out there in podcast.
Yep. Too sweet, everybody. Down, da 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 down.